And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the chat out just in case they want to visit and comment, and they do.
What is this Bitcoin thing? Is it a bubble?
God, I hate those.
What was that?
That was an advertisement.
Oh.
Dude. Okay. So we are live, actually.
Oh.
That, and I went out and did a couple things, and then I didn't realize, oh, yeah, well, it actually went live. Hi, everybody. This is Roland with the Friday Vlog Decompression Expression Session. But today, I'm joined by Barbara Quick. Barbara Quick, you want to say hi?
Hi there.
So I don't usually ever have anybody with me because I get a little randy on these days. And, well, that was an inappropriate word. I get a little bit edgy. And I tend to speak my mind. That's what a decompression session is. And so I'm expressing myself and telling about things. And I hadn't talked to Barbara Quick for, it's been almost a couple weeks now. She's been busy, I've been busy, and life passes us by, but I do like to spend some of my time being with Barbara. She was the very first individual who ever joined me on a Saturday morning marketing Smarties when I started over 3 years ago. Almost exactly 3 years ago. Now, we're a couple of weeks beyond the anniversary of when we started this, but this is close enough. So I'm glad to have you here with me, and I'm dedicating this decompression expression session to you. So,
thank you.
how are you feeling today? That's the main thing.
Oh, trying to relax a little bit now this afternoon. It's been kind of a hectic week.
Okay, then let's do a real quick yoga session and do some stretches and exercises and get you relaxing. No, I'm just you've been having quite a time, but literally lately it's been such that oh, Roz Betts is out there saying hi, Roland and Barbara. So say hi to Roz Betts. Roz, she goes by Roz Bounty, but she is literally, because of what I'm seeing, checked into YouTube under the name Roz Betts. But it's Roz Bounty is out there. And so you can say hi to Roz real quick.
Hi, Roz.
Yeah, and good to have you, Roz. Yeah, I know that you like us joining us in this conversation and stuff. So if you've got something to say, let us know. And when you plant it in there, I'll try to keep up with what you're saying too. And then it'll get too hectic to read everybody's. But occasionally we'll bring you into the conversation. And you say, my channel seems to be automatically set to Roz Betts on YouTube. Well, no, it's not automatically set, but it's set that way for a reason that you probably forgot months or years ago. So that's why it's doing that. But anyway, we were on, you had a little bit of a windfall, unexpected, from something you paid into maybe years ago. And
2013 taxes, the end of 2013, what went into the 2014 taxes.
So tell the people who are joining us what's going on with that, because it's just fascinating.
Well, I first got a letter from the Franchise Tax Board in California. And so I thought, oh my, I don't know what to do with this. And so I called my tax lady, and who's a relative by marriage. And so she says, oh, anything like that, just mail it to me and I'll take care of it for you. So I guess she called the fellow who had sent the letter, and she says he was kind of gruff and hard-headed sounding, and so, but she says anyhow, he's, I filled him in with the information that I had, and she says, so he's going to work on it. This was back like a year ago or thereabouts. And so anyhow, a few months went by and I get a call from him at the Franchise Tax Board. And he says, now I'm sending you some paperwork. And he says, and I want just you to fill it out and send me the answers I need. And he says, then I will see about getting you your refund. Because he says, well, I hadn't even actually gotten anything saying I was for sure getting it. They were saying perhaps. Well, so a few more weeks, a couple more months go by, and I got something saying that I do qualify for the refund. And so then, I don't know, a few more weeks go by, and I get his letter with what he needed, the information he needed. And so I did my best to sign, you know, make out a sheet and type in all the answers there, since he had said, only you do it. Okay. And so anyhow, now a few more months went by. It was August, I think, when I sent that. And so a couple of days ago, I thought, maybe I'll phone, and because they had a number on their letter that I could phone, get answers if I had questions. So I thought, well, I'll phone. And so the automated thing, you go through all of that automation, and
Right.
and then it says, now there's, I think it was 30 some to 40 minutes wait, or 40 some. And so I thought, oh, well, that's fine. And I could get a call back. And so I put in for the call back. And so figuring that when they called back, they'd be on the line, that one of their technicians or whatever would be on the line. Well, anyhow, so took my dog and went out and got the mail in the meantime while I'm waiting, rather than just sitting twiddling my thumbs. And I pulled out the mail out of the mailbox, and the top letter is from the Franchise Tax Board. And I thought, oh my, they're going to be calling back. I better find out what this is. So rushed in the house, opened it up and looked, and by golly, there's the check. Refund check. Yes. And so I thought, oh, now, you know, they're going to call back. Well, a few minutes later, they did call back, and I figured it would be a person. No, it was more automation, and it was put me on hold. And I kept hearing these automated messages. Well, if this, well, then call this number. If that, then call that number. And it goes on and on. Finally, I thought, after about 10 minutes, I thought, because I was going to apologize for having called, that I just got the check in the mail moments before that. And so after about 10 minutes of that, I thought, forget it, and I hung up. But then check, and
Job done.
Now I can get tires, which we needed.
That is so cool. I mean, it's almost like this is an automated call. You have requested a refund, and we are still determining your case and whether or not we're going to give it to you. Well, you're holding the check. Yeah. So that's, you know, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
Yep.
That's funny. Roz Bounty says tax returns are not get an account, you know, they don't get an account, are not, well, let me try reading this again. Tax returns are not get an account to do my, oh, I see. So a big not on tax returns. She has an accountant do hers. Not fun, I use an accountant. Great news for Barbara. I think so, because, I mean, you know, they're just giving her money back. But so much of life is people taking and don't give a crap about whether they give anything back that is due to the people. And if people don't ask, oftentimes they don't receive, they don't get, and the money's just gone into a system, and it's a funnel to point down the drain.
Yep.
So, I mean, the fact that the American government, the federal, is going to process that, figure it out, and with all their paperwork and all their hassles and rigmarole, actually get a check into your hands. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
California. It was the California Franchise Tax Board.
Oh,
So
that's a big check from California.
yes, yes. Well,
I mean,
it was if you have an LLC, then you're bound. You have to pay this $800. And when I got into all these scam businesses back in 2013, and they're telling me you have to sign up, you've got to get an LLC. And I was dumb enough to figure I had to, and they'd send me the paperwork, and so I'd fill it out, mail it in, and figured I had to pay this tax. And so I accidentally overpaid because they told me I had to pay it. And so, and then waited from 2014 until now to get the money back. So, but it's coming right at a time when I've got to buy tires. So it's, kind of a happy day.
That's kind of funny. And I wanted to impress upon everybody that Barbara here is one of the sweetest people alive. And for her to be taken by people on internet scams is the exact reason I have what people are uncomfortable with and my attitude about internet marketers, and especially certain ones that keep sending me stuff, just pounding my email because they think that maybe there's a chance I'll buy. Because they don't know me and they don't care who I am, but they know that I'm a target who's not saying no to their emails. I'm not opting out. I'm not unsubscribing. And so they're figuring, well, maybe he'll come around someday. Maybe I'll get a buck out of him. So they keep sending me stuff. And as a good example, Anik Singhal is the new guy that's doing a wave of stuff. Very good speaker on the internet. He's a fast talker, and he's very, very comfortable on the camera. So I really, really want to show you. And all I'm going to do is read the subject lines of these videos, these emails. So he's got a new thing that he's producing. And so finally, after several lines of produce the stuff, he goes, oversold webcast, second chance. Now, a lot of these people are saying, instead of that, they're calling it encore broadcast. You missed it. You can finally get it here. We're having an encore. So to me, encore just rubs me wrong. When people, when marketers say encore, I'm not a believer. I'm just not a believer anymore. And so what happens is they send you a second chance opportunity to dig into the big deal that you haven't dug into yet. So that wasn't enough. I was like, now you can get this before you're gone. And then we say, closing, Influencer Academy at 50% off. Get it now. Now, first of all, influencer, keyword, academy, catchphrase, keyword. This is clickbait, okay? But it's what he named his Influencer Academy. So I'm going to feel like, oh yeah, I want to be part of the Influencer Academy. There's probably 50 people that bought into this thing, and they're the academy. They're all the people, and he's the master of the academy. So he's feeding these people stuff and milking them out of all the money they can. But if you don't buy in, you get these emails. So now it's the Influencer Academy at 50% off. Oh, that's 3. And then right after that is closing, 50% off Influencer Academy. It's the same one, right? Same thing. Then another email after that. And by the way, these came in consecutively with nobody else sending me emails in between. And they were 1, 2, 3. And I'll tell you what the timing was in just a minute. So I get that last one, that fourth one was the third closing out. Now it's not closing, it's closing out 50% off Influencer Academy. So it's the same thing. Then I get one later. Well, I'll tell you what that one says in a little bit, but those 3 that I got were timed like this. All of them are December 14th. Now, where's the time? Come on. Oh, you know, but the main thing to realize, and I made a mental note of this, is these emails came to me within the time frame of 1 hour. I got the first one saying closing. It was at like, let's say 4:22, 4:22 o'clock. And then I got the second one closing out 50% off Influencer Academy at 4:57. So minutes after the first one, I got the second one. And then almost an hour later, I got the third one. Closing out 50% off Influencer Academy. Like he's knocking at my door and I'm not answering or something, you know. But then December 14th was on the same day, right? Influence Academy closing out. And I'll read this to you. Let's see what he's acting like. I didn't get the first 3 emails on Influencer Academy. So it's for a one-time payment. Oh, it's not just 50% off. Oh, it is 50% off, approximately. For a one-time payment of $397, you can still get in. Hello? Right in the middle of, oh crap. We ordered some food. I didn't order some food. Baby, I haven't ordered it yet, so I don't know who this is. What a day this is. So my wife, this is funny. My wife is suffering from knee and hip. So she just went through hip surgery and knee surgery. And that was yesterday and the day before. Now she's home and she's barely walking on a walker and suffering through. So she has to walk a little bit, but I mean, I can't even help her. Take your time, baby. He's gone.
Oh, God. Okay.
But I think he left something on the porch.
Okay.
Poor thing. So anyway, but that's been the day.
Sorry.
Poor thing.
Sorry.
Poor. So anyway, that's been the day we've been. I dealt with a day or two without Barbara, and that proved to be challenging in the least because usually.
We didn't order anything yet, though, did we?
24 is here.
Oh yeah, we absolutely did. We absolutely did.
Oh, we did. Okay. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
No problem. Can we sign?
Okay. And I think Tip was already on
Yes.
that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So apparently.
I'm so sorry. I'm out of water.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I ordered dinner. I had it set up. I apparently ordered it because I had it all ready to go, but I was going to wait until after this broadcast and then order the food. So apparently I clicked the button. Sorry, baby.
Okay.
So anyway, we're talking about this guy on the Influence Academy. So for one-time payment of $397, you can still get in. After today, it goes up to $797. And then blah, 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 you know. So the last pitch, but I know that every single email was basically a form letter that he wrote 2 months ago or 3 months ago, and then stuck me in a project after a sign-in just to get fed all these emails. And then probably a special opt-in that if I buy, then I get a thank you email, and then these are discontinued. So you can do those with autoresponders in that. But the bottom line is they're all working systems. They're not actually offering any value to me. It's not even something that I want, but they act like if I don't act now, I'm going to lose a discount of $400 And man, I'm an idiot if I do that, of course. So this kind of thing is what aggravates me on today's internet marketers who don't care what the product is. And this guy's selling his own thing. But a lot of internet marketers are trying to sell other people's stuff, and they don't care what the quality is, what the service is like, what the support for the product or service is, or how good it is in the first place. I remember Steve Martin's ad, he was commenting on that and saying he started his own academy, and it's an actor's academy. I can't remember what it's called. And by all means, if you're going to be trained as an actor, let's talk to Steve Martin, right? So there's a qualification there, and he is an authority. So people are signing up. He's getting the people, and immediately when coming in, these people are saying to him, "How do I get an agent? Where do I get my headshots done for my one shot, my one page? And how do I do?" And then he kicked back and said, "Shouldn't you really be thinking, how do I just be good? Shouldn't that be the question they're asking him? How do I be good? Be worthy of being selected for an acting part, or be a better actor. That's the goal of an acting class." I mean, but the marketing is much like with the people that are signing up, what they expect. It's like, you're going to take me as I am and show me how to get exposure and traffic and likes and shares, and somebody's going to hire me, and somebody's going to want me for an acting role and so forth. And that's how the marketers treat their clients. But Steve Martin has it right. The first thing you work on is your product or service. And then in the acting world, that's you. That's the person, right? So I find it very interesting that he's tapped into the very same spirit. And when you're considering, that's how I feel about marketers. Then I get caught by people sending me junk like that. And someone said to me the other day, a good friend actually, they like watching my show, but the one thing that bugs them, and I don't blame them at all, because I know I rant and rave about these idiots. And the one thing she says, I feel I'm really uncomfortable when you go ranting about these guys and marketers and advertisers. And I so sympathize with her, because I could be obnoxious. And the one thing I wanted to clarify is, it's not all marketers. It's not all marketers, but it's probably 80% or more. And you, Barbara, are the classic example, and excuse me for bringing it out quite this way. You are the classic example of the sweetheart mom who got sucked into these things, these opportunities, if you will, to make money this way and that way and the other thing, tempting you with stuff that sounded good, and you weren't even, it wasn't even necessarily the answer to your problem, the solution to your problem. And indeed, none of them made you money, really, right? But you did buy into a few of them, and you lost thousands of dollars. Am I right?
I lost lots.
So, I mean, you're living proof. The spirit of you is exemplified by the fact that you're sitting here talking to us and you're smiling. You're still a sweetheart. You're still the same person. But there are thousands of others, pretty much like yourself, who have done the same. And that's why I resent internet marketers who have no qualms about taking your money. And that's the part of the underlying battle or struggle of any part of my negativity is probably devoted to that. So when I have a decompression expression session on Friday, I get to rag on these guys and then let it go. Because it's mostly funny, you know. It's mostly funny, but at the same time, they're taking people's money. So they have an obligation to back their words and deliver value. And in their minds, maybe they are delivering value to, you know, value is different to every person. And maybe a lot of people are coming on and buying their stuff and are benefiting, and they're being encouraged to take a next step to be empowered and enabled. And I like that, but is it really happening? My experience, most of the people who buy into this stuff, like yourself, do not benefit and are not empowered, and their money's gone. So there's a vast waste of effectiveness compared to a worthy world where we're sharing, teaching, giving, enabling, empowering, strengthening, and building a world of harmony, peace, and love. I mean, these things do not contribute to that. So since I couldn't have peace and love and harmony as a foundation base, I'm helping people with internet marketing. Am I the best internet marketer around? Probably not, but I'm not a ripoff, and I can help other people maybe avoid the same things, things like what you went through. So it's oh, Aaron's out there. Aaron joined us from Stroke TV, and thank you, Aaron. How you doing, man? Let me go over some of the things that Roz Boundy has written too. She mentioned that surgery is painful, and yes, my wife was going through pain. She's on pills, and has to rest, has to lay down, has to raise her leg up, elevate it, and then you have to walk. You have to get on that leg that we just fixed, so it doesn't stiffen up and cause you additional problems. So that's an interesting thing. Steps of learning to walk first and progress to running. Yeah, she may not run again exactly, but she might. I mean, she was a tennis player and loved to get on the tennis court. And a number of years ago, before we kind of ejected out of that scene, she and I got on the court and hit the ball back and forth. And I was impressed. She's got good form. She was hitting the ball hard back at me. And, you know, I mean, she probably could take me in tennis. I'm a racquetball player after all. But I played some tennis. And one time when I was in high school, I went to my sister who was in college. I went with her to her class. And we went and hit the ball around a while. And then I got challenged by the winner of the class, or the #1 student in the class. And I beat this guy. And he was so depressed. This is on like the end of the class day, you know. Last day, we're getting together, just kind of hitting the ball around. And he challenges me and I beat him. But I was a ping pong player. And I was used to undercutting the ball and slicing. And so he's trained to hit the ball, you put a top spin on it, and power it this way and power it that way. And I was undercutting the ball, which loops the ball over the net in a negative spin, and it hits the ground softly because I'm not hitting it hard, and then dies. So he would pull his racket back and go, "What happened?" You know, the ball would never reach him, and it was so frustrating to this guy that I kind of drove him crazy. But that's a side story. I don't even know how I got off on that. But let's see. Roz says, over time, I have seen so many people use the systems and formula and funnels and fail to realize that if they were themselves, they will attract the perfect clients. Oh, I see what you're saying. Completely, Roz. That's true. That's why I always say, do what you love and eventually you'll get paid for it. If you're not trying to sell yourself and somehow coerce or talk people into buying you and promising things that you don't need to offer the service that you have, if you focus on using your talents to help people, word will get around. And after a while, it won't be just people taking advantage of you. People are so appreciative of when you give them value that somewhere down the line, people start saying, "Hey, you know, I want to hire you part-time to do this for me on a regular basis." And there are enough people And if you're a fair person, that's what you're going to attract, another fair person. And you're going to find a value exchange between yourself and the other person. So you're helping them, and it's worth it to them enough that they're going to pay you. And that's the natural growth of things. But people, 80% of them or more, don't believe that that's the way it happens. So you got to find the best marketer to get the advertisement out there so they can get enough people and magnify and expand and just get the outreach. But this is all beyond the point of, is my service or product any good in the first place? That's where it starts. So if you're doing what you love, you'll eventually get paid for it. And if you're doing what you love, you're probably doing it a little bit better than not. And also, you're probably doing it well and consistently. And if someone says, hey, can I have the same thing? And you're going to go, sure, here, you have some of this. And that's the way you want to offer. You don't want to be surprised that somebody wants something that you don't consider to be really worth it, but it's on your menu for sale. You know, I just can't have stuff like that. So that's most of my rant for a Friday. And Barbara, did you have anything else that you wanted to decompress with and get off your chest?
Well, I can't think of anything much. Most of my weeks recently have been hectic. And this week, there was that good thing that happened. And so now I think we get tires tomorrow.
That's so cool. You are exemplary in bringing the smile to the screen. No matter what your week's been, you've had much harder weeks, and you've come on and been online with me and my gang and the Smarties and various conglomerates that still carry the same spirit that you are always. So I look at this, you're in the midst of a lot of turmoil and a lot of energy that is not exactly the same as yours. And yet, in the midst of that, you're the beacon of light that holds up this mainstay of positivity and goodwill and love and nature, and you got the smile on your face. And I think my conclusion is that you hold your entire family together, and probably a lot more than that. And I know that you've worked with your church and done some stuff, and you're just a really, really good model for people. You're a really good model. So that's mainly the reason that I wanted to have you on today, because I know you can tolerate me, because we got on line together in LinkedIn and kind of like connected because we were talking about the stupidity of others in LinkedIn. And not everybody in LinkedIn. I didn't say anything like that, Pugs. But there are some people selling to others in LinkedIn and trying to influence them and trying to get them, here, come on, jump on board, you know, do this, you'll make money, and rah, sis kumbaya, come on, follow me. And by the way, use my link so I can be an affiliate, but go ahead and sign up. Come on, everybody. And I'm so sick of that we caught people to bag on, you know, commenting on whether or not they're using proper English and whether or not they're producing content that we could read. And even if we could read it, can we understand the damn thing that the people were saying? Sometimes the answer is no. So,
Roland,
yeah.
you know, the thing is, I mean, some of those really stupid ones like that, stupid offerings, I could see through. The ones I got caught up in and taken for a downer in, they looked too legitimate. You know, they appeared to be legitimate. And then all of a sudden the company's gone and things like that, you know. And after they'd led me down the path, well, you know, at that time I just didn't know. I've learned how to say no real good now.
Yes. So some of the telltale signs of those guys are usually the business is not over a year old. So they've got a blog. They're going to have a 1-year-old blog, a 1-year-old website, and they're going to be bringing you a groundbreaking, earth-shattering life-changing something that you have to get now and be the early adopter and buy it well, be before the masses come along, and don't be caught up in the crowd too late and stuff. And so they're encouraging you with that. But then you look at the website and you realize, wow, they've got a blog here with articles, but there hasn't been an added article for 8 months. What's up with that? If they're so groundbreaking of all those people, they ought to have people commenting. There should be a discussion going on. There should be a recent blog as of this week, or maybe at least this month, updating what's the progress of the business. There should be testimonials up to kazoo, right up to the date that we're looking at the website. But if they're not having testimonials, they don't have any recent blogs, it's probably a hoax. Because if they're promoting something worthwhile, they're going to have new, recent interaction. And that's one of the things that you can tell. If you get this thing in the mail and there hasn't been a post in a year, then what they're doing is they're taking the project that they sold last year, they're repurposing it and repackaging it a little bit, and they're sending it to you. They didn't sell any back then, they're probably not going to sell any now. But if you buy, then they made a few bucks. And they didn't do anything but play with some art and then send you an email. And by golly, that's their job, not this thing that they're offering you, because usually what they're offering you, you can get all the things that they're offering you somehow for free on the internet if you look around. But they're handing you all this stuff, and they mark the price up and they boost it up and push it up to here. And then they say, here we go, blah, 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 valued at blah, 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 valued at blah, 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 blah. And then they say, but we're going to offer it to you for 1/5 or 1/10 the price. How can they do that? If something is worth that much more, how can they do that? So just conceptually, the price is all inflated. And conceptually, even the price they're selling it at may not be the value of what they're selling you. It could be very much less. And a few people will take advantage of the tools, and literally it'll steer them towards something that actually benefits them. But it's usually because they got out their duff and decided to work it, instead of sitting back and doing nothing and watching the shiny objects fly by. They bought into one and put themselves into motion to take action, and that's the real key of it. Gets people to take action efficiently and effectively. Good call. And I'm not behind that. I mean, I'm not down on that at all. A good example of this is Mike Koenigs, who has a course that he did all this teach about, and then at the end there's like a $2,000 package that he's selling for $1,000. And I thought, well, that's traditional marketing. But when he said what he was offering, it was also for the people who sign up to have guaranteed success. And then Mike would hold their hand and literally introduce them to people in his own network that could help them do their thing. I thought, oh crap, I would like to meet one person that Mike Koenigs knows. And so the guarantee that he was offering, well, for $1,000, he's making money in his pocket, but he's also giving value. And I thought, there's the proof. That's something that I could believe in. I know him. Well, I know him online, I like him, I trust him, and he's an established person with a track record. He is a success, and people want to be like him. So he was offering a good package. But when I look at these other things for anywhere from $100 to $500 and compared what they were offering, it was mostly all fluff, indistinguishable value, and then they're marketing it. They're trying to sell me something, not give me value. And there's a distinctive difference between offering people something of value and getting them to buy something. So I don't want to be trained like that. And evidently, Roland can't be trained like that. So I, I have quit buying shiny objects for a long time. But one shiny object I jumped on board with was Go Read. And do you remember me talking about Go Read? Because it was a writer's platform. And I wrote some articles in Go Read that were very encouraging. And then the first month I was in there, I got a check for the residual of what I'd earned. And I still don't know how I earned the money. But I put in about $50 or $60 and got 100 and something back. It's like, wow, I got more than my money back. I got more than I put in, you know. So I thought, I'll keep doing this. So February, that was January. So February, March, I kept on going, but all of a sudden I wasn't getting a check for February. So I thought, what the hell, you know, maybe maybe I'm doing it wrong or something. And then, oh, we're having a glitch in something, blah, blah, blah. We're having some trouble. So your checks will be delayed. I said, oh, great. So do I pay another $67 a month into March and April and stay doing this when they're not paying us? So I stuck around till May. At the end of May, I still had not received the second check from them. So January 1st through May 31st, I received one check for 1 month. The months go by and the months go by. I was complaining. I was writing in my blog that you know, that the whole thing kind of sucks and so forth. And I think so and so is trying hard to get it going, but I really wish he would represent himself a little differently, because the whole thing is not believable. I think he's honest. I think he's trustworthy. I'm going to hang in there, but I have issues with how this website is set up. I was voicing my mind, and finally he got fed up and he just canceled my account because I was talking about him openly, right? But I mean, if you're going to provide a service, you have to be ready for positive feedback and negative feedback. And the negative feedback is an opportunity to take your service or product and improve on it. If you don't get negative feedback, you're never going to know that there's a good percentage of people that don't like what you do or whatever. So I thought, you know, I owe it to him to tell him my mind without attitude. I'm not mad. I'm a little frustrated because I would really appreciate my money. And so that was an issue for me. I was expressing myself, and then he terminated and suspended my account. And he was saying that I was being slanderous. I was not being slanderous. I was telling everybody what my experience was with his service. And anyway, that's debatable too. You know, some people would say, "Yeah, Roland, you were slanderizing the guy." Maybe, but I don't believe I was. So we were basically, I got a 1 month paycheck, and that was it. But over the period of time, starting June, July, and August, I started to get 1 month per month. And so, but there was a layover sometimes. So just last week, I got a check for $135 for May, the last month that I was with them. So the guy paid me all my money. It just took a year, you know, and that's May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. A year later, he finally paid me for an accumulation of 5 months' earnings, which were all the first 5 months of the prior year, you know. I mean, earlier in the year. So it's all kind of funny. Sometimes people have a great idea, but might get into business a little soon or launch a business before they're ready. So there are checkpoints and things to make sure you've got your system down so that you can sustain what it is you offer the people. And I think that he's an honorable man. I got my money, but I feel for him because I don't think he was very well prepared. And I'd hate to take anybody into a business concept or any kind of a campaign when they're not prepared. So the first thing is get an education on what you're trying to do and prepare your product and service so it's the best that it can be. Those are the things that are obligatory for us as people who want to do business online. And that's where we start. And then if you connect with a marketer that can bring you business, then perhaps you're worthy of that business. But focus on yourself first. That's just like relationships between people. Focus on yourself first. I know so many people are saying, if I only had a really good woman in my life, I could be happy for the rest of my life. And it's like, you idiot, who wants to be with you? You know, you have to be the person that the woman wants to be with. Same goes with marketing. Same goes with movements. You have to be the change that you want to see. You have to represent the solution and stand for the solution. If you want to get a movement going, want people to join you, you have to already be there. You have to be not just talking about it, you have to do it. And you have to be the change. So I'm pretty much decompressed myself. I'm smiling and having fun. And I thank Roz and Aaron for actually being out there and shouting at us from the comment stream. I will, when I can, I'll set up these discussions on Friday through Lightstream and through my website, so that they're recorded on a page and not just preserved in a YouTube video. And because the side chat where you guys are commenting right now, that disappears. And we talked to YouTube about it and said, why don't you do something so the chat stays there? So when we do a live event in YouTube, we have a record of what the conversation was during the video. And I want to think that it may have to do with resources and trying to preserve that much data. But we're talking about YouTube. They've got thousands, they're always bragging about thousands and thousands of videos being uploaded. And videos are way more data intensive, size intensive than this little chat stream on the side. So if they're going to provide a way for people to comment like that, why not preserve it? A little bit of programming will take care of that. But for whatever reason, YouTube sees fit to do it this way. I'm sure they've got their reasons. I just wish I knew what they were. So I don't know. Barbara, it's been fun me talking to you. I didn't give you much of a chance to say anything. But did you have anything to add? Anything that I've been blurting past as I've been running through my conversation here?
I can't think of much of anything. The one thing I found is, for education purposes, is the free webinars. If you find something that sort of clicks with you and you go to the free webinar, I often don't stay for their sales pitch at the end, but I pick up little ideas that give me ideas for future, you know, and so that's helpful.
Yeah, yeah. And the free webinars, usually they offer something of value, but webinars have developed a very bad name, actually, because the best example I have is a relatively close friend of mine. I said, now it's been a year, and I don't really talk to her much. Another one of these situations where differences of opinion tend to drive people apart. But I said to her, hey, you know, we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah on my show, Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties. So here's the link. Why don't you come watch? And she said, oh, no, I don't do webinars. And I asked her why. She goes, because they're always trying to sell you something. This is a lady who is a social media marketer. That's her profession. She's an artist. She's a graphic artist and helps people develop their outreach, especially in social media. So when I invited her to a Saturday Morning Marketing Smartie, and those out there that know Saturday Morning Marketing Smarties have a feeling for what I do on my show, okay? But she says to me, oh no, I don't do webinars. And I just froze. It was like, okay, if that's what you think, then there's nothing I can do. Thank you very much. And I went my way. But all I was trying to do was help her, because the person on my show the next day was going to be just somebody that she wanted to talk to. So in an effort to help someone, I drove her away, and you know, but that's all perception. People think what they think. We don't have any control over that. So we have to be as convincing as we can and as authentic and genuine as we can. So we're convincing people on a steadfast platform of reality, not an illusion. So that's a stickler for me. By the way, Roz says that Barbara is a shining light in being positive and uplifting. And Roz, she really is. She's maybe the most solution-oriented person I know. And that takes her to a point where I wish sometimes I could slow her down, because if I say, gee, I've got this blah, blah, blah problem, she's immediately on the solution. She'll take care of it. She's a mom, she's a mother, she's a housewife, emphasis on wife, and she wants to help me, she wants to take care of it. And so being positive and uplifting, she's always thinking about solutions. So I saw you unmute your mic. Barbara, do you want to add to that?
Well, I look for solutions too. You know, I was told one time by my late sister-in-law and her daughter, they said, they looked at each other, and they both were taking psychology at the time. And they would look at each other, yeah, she's, and I don't remember what terminology they used, but they're both agreeing. And I said, what does that mean? And they said, you try and help everybody be okay. You try and fix everything for everybody. Well, I guess I do. And I was told by a neighbor many years ago, he says, you live a life like a soap opera. And he says, and you're the one that tries to hold everybody together, make it work.
The community loving glue that keeps the process contiguous and working so that the group survives. And that, you know, I saw the comment there. I think Roz was talking about you, not my Barbara. But yeah, I forget sometimes that you're both Barbaras. And you are indeed a very bright, shining light. And you're exemplary in that respect. So I thank you for your comment, Barbara. I mean, Roz, because she is a very positive and uplifting being. You're looking at her right now, and I'm going to white box her real quick. You're looking at Barbara right now, and you can't think how this person could ever be negative. And she's told me what the problem was sometimes, but I can't think of a time that she herself has been negative in any way. And that's her spirit. That's who she is. So if she expands out into the world here, unburdened by some of the things that she's been burdened by, she will expand out into her joy, and joyous things will come back to her, because that's how it happens. That's how the universe is designed. And, you know, people, you know, are always thinking, nope, I got to go out and find the person. I have to find the person of my dreams, and I have to find the perfect job, and I have to win the lottery. I have to do this. I have to get lucky. And all those are feelings and expressing negativity, because you don't have the right person, you don't have as much money, you don't have the job. And that's what the wish or those things is coming from. And law of attraction and the general idea is you have to be worth being with. You have to be happy. If you want to have a happy wife, you have to be a happy husband or a future husband. If you want the future job, you have to picture yourself being happy in that future job. You can't be dwelling in the fact that you don't have it. And people don't realize that those are two different vibrations. So when you're vibrating in the lack, like, I need a job, I don't have any money, now I'm struggling, I can't make my payments, that is not the spirit and the vibration in this universe that allows a human being to expand into abundance. It's not the right vibration. So the key is trying to find yourself, you be the change you want to see, so you vibrate in abundance. And it's hard to do when you don't feel like it. when you're sitting in lack and you're realizing that. That's why they say, be thankful for what you've got. And then people say, well, yeah, I can be thankful for what I've got, but what I've got is over here, and what I don't have, and what I should have, what I want. They start comparing it against what they're, and I say, stop that. Be thankful for what you've got, because if you could just do that, you'd be buzzing positively, and that's the energy you put out to the universe. Then that's the energy that comes back, and that's attracted to you all around. So the song "Don't Worry, Be Happy," they got it right. If you could just do that and quit your bitching, you'd be all right. So I guess we should wrap this up. My dinner's waiting. I ordered it without knowing, and now my wife is waiting for dinner. So I gotta go, I guess. But any last thing that you wanted to say on our decompression session, Barbara?
I totally agree with what you were saying about we need to be thankful for what we do have, not always be grouching about what we don't have.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're the icon of this very concept, and because in spite of whatever you've been through, you've had a life of giving to your family, giving to your church and different people in the church, and providing comfort and support for untold numbers of people. And that's your vibration, it's positive vibration. So you're probably in the midst of a lot of negativity, and you're the beacon, the shining light. And not an easy job, but somebody's got to do it.
Well, I was church secretary for 30 years. And I kind of the main thing that I did is the people would come in, they needed an ear to listen. And I was the ear. They didn't always need anything, but they just needed somebody here. And I had one lady that was going through cancer, and she would come in weekly, and she'd sit and she was a very nervous talker, and she would just talk real fast. And then she'd say, well, I've got to go. And sometimes I never got hardly other than a hi and a bye. But she was happy when she left. So, I guess that's kind of my job in life.
I didn't know you were a therapist. A free therapist.
I had one, the only person that I can say ever acted toward me like I was some kind of enemy. She said, well, you're not a therapist. You have no business doing therapy. Said,
You're right.
I'm not therapy. I'm not a therapist. I said, I just listen, mostly.
Well, you're not very good at that, apparently. It is one person's vision. So just offhand, Rosbeth says, great session and many thanks. And I didn't address every comment, Roz, but I appreciate everything you said. And Roz Bounty is a wonderful person, and she's onto some stuff. And she's getting into some healing therapy and different things, sound therapy, and I'm just really behind what she's doing. So let's see if we can give her a foothold where she can actually express and help people, because I think she's really got something to offer. So that's very cool. And also Aaron is really coming along and learning a lot, and it's beginning to look like we might have a serious channel on stroketv.net coming up. He's got a radio station, I mean, not a radio station, a TV station supporting his purple movement of stroke TV and the purple heart concept, emblem of stroke. And they're actually going to participate with him and with us on a stroke push or a stroke event. And they're actually going to maybe wear purple ties and purple shoes. So you never know, but we're trying to make this work. But if we do, we'll be advertising it to everybody we know. I'll be supporting with Smarties show and MinMax Media and doing that. But I'm really proud of of Aaron. He's come a long way, and he's got a long way to go, but he's coming along and expressing himself well. And I appreciate his energy immensely, because the one thing that will make anything work when nothing else will, and that's persistence.
Mhm.
And persistence is probably king when it comes to making something happen. And persistence requires you to believe in what you're doing, because otherwise it's not sustainable. So you know he believes that he's got a way that he can be of help to people. And I'm a believer, and I believe that I can help him in his expression and in his help and support. And so we're teaming up on this thing, and we're going to see where it takes us. So it turned into much more of a journey than a $5,000 prize from MinMax Media and DIY live streaming show and Saturday morning marketing smarties. But the price tag is off the board. We're basically partnering up on a movement. So we'll see where it goes. And I really got to pull a plug because my wife is starving. So would you like to say any last thing, Barbara?
Can't think of anything else.
Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and thank everybody for chatting with us, allowing us to decompress today. I like doing these things on Friday, and it's fine with me that we're public, because if people can tell us whether they think we're full of crap or not, and we can respond live and have a discussion, actually. So it's been a lot of fun, and thank you very much for allowing us to have this decompression expression session on our Friday vlog. Roland and Barbara signing off. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And no, I'm not going to play any music. See ya.